And I have to tell you, he's reporting something amazing, right? Like the Lyme treated with our product stay for 5 more days, which is kind of amazing.
Welcome to Game Changers live from Miami, Florida. My name is Sergio Tigera. I'm your host. And each and every week, we bring you someone who has been a game changer in their field and who's touched the lives of thousands to get their perspective on their journey, their mindset, their struggles and successes so that we can inspire you on your journey. So let's get started right now. And welcome to Game Changers Live. You can catch this and every episode each week on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it, wherever you'd like to catch your episodes, you can find us there. And each and every week, we bring you game changers in their field. And so this week, we have a very special guest coming to us from Tel Aviv, Israel, from the Save Foods Ltd organization. It's the CEO, Dan Sztybel. How are you, buddy?
Hi, Sergio. Thank you very much for having me today.
So Dan has served as the CEO of Save Foods Ltd since April 2019 and previously served as the Vice President of Business Development. So prior to joining the organization, Dan served as the principal at Goldmed Ltd, a consulting firm, and founder of Dan Sztybel Consulting Group, a boutique firm advising global leaders and emerging startups in the healthcare field on strategy, partnerships, and investments, and has served as its managing director since November 2014. He also was the co-founder of MyndYou, a digital health tech company. And prior to that, he led the life sciences and healthcare advisory team at Ernst Young. So quite a record there, my friend. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you very much.
So Dan, tell me a little bit about, before we get into some of the game-changing technologies and things that the Save Foods Ltd company is doing, tell me a bit about you. Are you originally from Israel? Where's your background from?
Now, so originally I grew up in Belgium, and I moved to Israel when I was 18. It was kind of the dream. What are you going to do next? And instead of going to university, I moved to Israel, and I started to travel for. I was in a special program for a year. Tried to travel in Israel all around. After that, I had to do my military service. I was there for almost 2 years, and I actually still on reserve duty. And that was quite a bit of an experience. And after serving the country, I decided to stay here and to go to university, working on molecular biology and genetics, biotechnology. And one of the things I decided to do is to test and to already during my master's degree to go into the industry. So I work in a company called Compugen, where I did my master's degree, and then from there I moved to a PhD. Out of nowhere, I've been contacted by some friends at Ernst Young to join the company. So that's what I did, and I set up back the life science advisory group. And one of the amazing things we did there, I was part of a group called the Pharma 3.0. It was really the beginning of the digital health area. So everybody today, especially with the COVID, everyone is talking digital health, remote monitoring from the hospital and all these gadgets that you can have at home and you can monitoring you.
Right.
So 10 years ago, it was like a little bit of science fiction. So we were really, as being the startup nation, it was a great challenge because here we were very strong in technology, all the ways and stuff like that, but also in life science, in medical. So really the merge of taking people strong in the medicine and the people strong in technology was really kind of an easy way to do. And Israel really became the startup nation also on the digital health things. So I did that for a bit, and it was super exciting. We did the first TED Med. I'm sure you know about the TED Talks.
Yeah.
So the first TED Med on Israel was organized during one of the conference we organized on the digital health.
Wow.
And that was super exciting. And that's it. And after doing that, I left Ernst Young and I set up my own company in the digital health space called MyndYou. MyndYou is a company that analyze cognitive change. So for Alzheimer people or people that had some brain injuries and stuff like that. So we and it's still running. The company actually, I decided after 2 years to not to continue with the company because the company actually moved. A lot of the management moved to the US, and I couldn't move that time.
How did you measure the cognitive change? Was that like with
Using
something
voice.
on?
No, actually, we are develop an algorithm that is able to detect changes in the voice.
Really?
Yeah. So by speaking, actually, the way we speak is that you are having discussion with kind of a machine. The
Hmm.
therapist has a discussion using also a machine with the patient, and then is able to detect changes in the voice, and that indicates actually that something is going wrong.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah, it was pretty interesting.
And so how does the machine know? Like, for example, is it that the tone changes and it detects and it correlates that with some kind of cognitive
It
issue?
it measured the complexity of the signals. So every signal has its own complexity, and if you're losing the complexity on your voice, it means that it seems that you're going to have a problem, right? Because it's very when you take a walk, the complexity of walking is not that complicated, right? But when you run, you need to do a lot of different things. Same when you
Mm.
speak, you need to do a lot of different things. And when you're actually starting to lose the signal, is starting to lose its complexity. This is a very interesting point where we can pinpoint, really find out that something might be wrong in terms of cognition.
But could it also just mean that you're getting tired and
Could
you're
be, could be,
because
definitely, but
we can
that's
only focus for so long, right? And then we tend to drift off a bit.
100%, and that's part of the technology and the novelty, and also the protocol how to do it. It's not like just having like a 20 minutes conversation or an hour conversation. Definitely, you're gonna fall asleep. And then what happened? I had an opportunity to set up a fund with some friends. We set up a life science fund that invested together with a Chinese partner. We invested in the life science technology here in Israel. And actually, this is where I came across Save Foods for the first time, because um, we had some people that were looking at Save Food, but they were not actually. They were the first time they were looking at an agri or life science kind of technology. Usually, they were looking at high tech. So they asked us, right? We were the scientific people, and they asked us to look at the technology. And we got so excited that all the team that look at the company actually invested in the company, a really small amount, but we invested in the company,
Right.
and the group invested. And I was so excited about this that after a few months, I actually reached out to the chairman and asked him if I can join the company. And
Wow.
that's what happened. And I started as a VP Biz Dev, and after a few 6 months or so, I became the CEO of the company. And it's amazing.
Wow, that's a big jump. And so tell me about what was it about the technology that got you so excited? Just to kind of give people, okay, what is Save Foods?
So, so Safe
Why do they exist?
So Food is a company that developed a green technology to protect fruits and vegetables. And by doing that, we extend the shelf life, but we also ensure food safety. Okay, so we're doing two things. One is reducing food waste, but also ensuring that there is going to be less food recalls. We're starting to hear more and more about recalls of food, of fresh produce, due for E. coli or whatever it is, Listeria,
Hmm.
Salmonella. And this is one of the way we can actually prevent that. So we can do two things: food waste and food safety. And we're doing that by using only natural products. And that's what really gets me excited, because the impact that we are having actually on the environment, but also on the health of people, is huge. And this was also the first time I think that there is really a very efficient product on the market that could replace, hopefully, and it's starting already to reduce, and we're on the way to replace fungicide
Yeah,
on
of
our
course,
health
of
and,
course.
and
Yeah, people don't want to be
environment.
consuming that themselves
Hmm.
and giving it to their kids and so forth. So, how does
Right.
it work? What is it? It's a combination of natural, ingredients that instead of
Mhm.
using a fungicide, you can apply this to it.
Yeah, so we're using a different food acid. It's a blend of food acids that we are using in combination with different type of oxidizers. And what's happening is we're doing two things. One, we're killing the oxidizer is a killer, so it kills the pathogens. Okay, and our product is making this killer much more efficient on one hand, but also leaves a very very small barrier for the food. So if some new pathogens are coming in, they will say, okay, that's not a good place to be, and they will go away. So really protecting the fruit from all these fungi, that are responsible for spoilage and decay.
Yeah. How about, I mean, what happens with pesticides?
So pesticide, you have a few different type of pesticide. The pesticide that we are in a way reducing or replacing, despite they have a lot of limitations, right, in terms of the residue, the maximum residues that they can stay on the fruit. Okay. By the way, pesticide, the goal of this pesticide is to kill living organisms, right? So they're doing something to the target. They also might impact other things.
Right.
So today we're doing two things. We work in synergy with with some of these fungicides, so we're significantly reducing the concentration, leaving them in a very, um, I would say, okay residues. Okay, so it can be safe, and in some cases completely removing them. Okay, and that's I have to say it's critical for the organic industry, for example, right? The
Mm-hmm.
organic industry cannot use any fungicide,
Right.
so it's a very local industry, right? You cannot have a great organic product from Miami and send it here, ship it to Israel, or vice versa, right? It will
Yeah, it won't
never
make
make
it.
the trip. With our
Right.
product, they will be able to make the trip.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting. So it helps preserve it, but
it's really
without using kind of preservatives, other chemicals and so forth.
Yeah, so it's not on terms of preservation; it's more on protection. So we will get rid of the pathogens, all the things that have the fungi, mold, yeast that have a really bad impact on the food.
And so how long have you guys been doing this? Where are the products being used today? What does that look like?
So we have been working on the technology for a long period of time. I would say for more than 5 years. But what happened is really the last 2.5 years, we really turned the technology into a product. And we've been doing and testing it, and I'm happy to say that if you go and now in the US buy some cuties, you don't know if you know the cuties brand,
Yeah.
it's Mandarin Clementine, so there's a good chance they will be treated with our product. So
Wow.
the product is applied on the cuties brand, and there's also good chances if you go on and buy some lime in Costco or Walmart or whatever, these big shops. We have a big producer of lime in Mexico that is working with our product. And I have to tell you, he's reporting something amazing, right? One of the retailers, the food retailers that is supplying the product, reported 5 more days on the shelf. Like the lime treated with our product stay for 5 more days, which is kind of amazing compared to the
How,
other.
what percentage, I have no idea. What percentage of food goes to waste just because, it sits on the shelves too long of a
Around
typical
30,
batch of something?
let's say fruits that I would say on average in the US, 10% of the fruits and vegetables will never make it to the shelf because
Oh,
of
it won't even
spoilage.
make it to the
They
shelf.
don't even make it for the shelf. And overall, I would say around 40% of the fruits and the vegetables go to waste globally.
Wow. That's a lot
So,
of money for these
so
companies.
exactly. So 5 more days is significant, not only in terms of money, because of course, there's more day to sell the product, but you have to understand that if they do not sell the product, they have actually to get rid of it, and it costs money. You cannot just throw now like.
Yeah, you throw it out back. Yeah.
In the backyard. So it also costs money. And on top of that, food waste, produces greenhouse gases. It's not a big problem. So by reducing the waste and also reducing the use of pesticide, which are also responsible for greenhouse gases, you're able to also have a significant impact on the environment.
And how are you guys getting the word out on this? Is it one by one business development, or are you presenting at conferences? How are you guys doing that?
So we really just starting our marketing. We're really at the beginning of, we've just finalized, I would say, all the large commercial tribes that we did
Right.
in Mexico and in California. Now we're working in Spain, in Turkey, in Israel. And, we're really hoping that in the next few weeks, months, we will be able to do a bit more of marketing activities and put the product out there. And the results are outstanding also on avocado, mango, and it's very, very exciting.
Especially avocados, right? I mean, those are very sought after, fruits, and typically could go bad pretty quick. And if you get those to last a bit longer, I think you have a lot of fans down here in South Florida who love avocados.
Exactly. The food retailers, some of the largest food retailers talk to us about even one more day, or two day would be game changing. One
Unbelievable,
day
right?
would be, and the result we have here in Israel show that we're doing a little bit more than that. So it's very exciting.
That's very promising, and you're doing something that it's a win-win all around, right? Everybody, the consumers get fresher, product. The resellers also then can save money on not throwing away so much food, and the environment gets a break as well. So yeah, it's a win-win all around.
And also, the impact on the health of the people, because, more and more people are looking for more healthy product.
Correct. Yeah.
And this is, I think, the impact of that as well. I mean, it would be tremendous.
So you guys heard it here first. When Save Foods goes public and they become this big, conglomerate, and they're doing amazing things in the industry, you've heard it here on Gamechangers.
Yeah, you'll be the first one.
Yeah,
Please don't
exactly.
forget, Sergio.
Yeah.
We'll put a note.
I want to go to Costco and buy one of your limes and try it out and see how it is for sure.
Go ahead.
So what's the what's the future now? Like, looking forward 5 years, 10 years from now, what are you guys thinking? What are you working on, and where do you see the company going?
So we're already thinking about taking the product also to the pre-harvest market. So we're going to start in the field, because everything starts in the
Exactly.
field.
Yeah.
Right. And we decided to go on the post-harvest first, because it's really the critical moment when the fruit is being, just what happened actually is that when you harvest the fruit, you actually create a wound, right? And all the pathogens that are in the field
We'll get in through there.
get
Right?
it in. And when it get into the packing house not fast enough, then you cannot do anything. It will actually get some decay, and you will have to throw it away. So we have started already to for the last 2 years to do some trials in the field, in the as we call the pre-harvest, and also we just got actually from California a very, very good result, showing that the impact we have by treating the fruit on the tree just before harvest is reducing the presence of the pathogens in the packing house significantly. And they have shown that it has an impact, the positive impact, also on the shelf life. So that would be another product. And we're working on additional technology, like coding technologies and so on, to really be able to be from field, I would say, to fork, from really a complete solution in the agriculture, for the agri-tech industry.
Fantastic. So Dan, where can people find out more about Save Foods? Is it what's the website, or where can they reach out to you?
Yeah, so we have a great website. It's savefoods.co, and feel free to reach out. You can also reach out to me, Dan, at savefoods.co. We'll be very happy, to share and to show some picture about our fruits and more details about what we are doing. And I hope you're gonna know Save Foods is there very soon.
Fantastic, my friend. Hey, thanks so much for being on Gamechangers. And guys, make sure to check him out and check out the website. They're doing some amazing things. They're definitely changing the game in the industry when it comes to food safety and all that great stuff. So thank you so much for being on, my brother. We'll talk to you soon. If you loved what you heard in today's episode of Gamechangers, please subscribe and rate us. The lessons and the stories in these podcasts are immensely valuable, so I invite you to share them with a friend who needs to hear it. You may end up being the game changer in their lives.